Warning, this video may contain adult language not suitable for some children.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Through the Table podcast, where we talk everything about wrestling and the most electrifying show here on YouTube to boot.
Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode today. We are talking about Smackdown. I am Darmore Soul of Darmore YouTube, and with me as always is Tommy NC-2010.
Tommy NC-2010, World Heavyweight MTV's made Comedy Central's champion of the world.
And we hope to have a good show for you here. It's a little light this time. Smackdown kind of fell through this week on us. Not a whole lot of matches to really speak of. Nothing really super. Nothing like Raw was.
Nope.
And just, I want to see them do better with Smackdown. They've got all the big names on there. Come on, guys, step it up.
Of course, the fact is that I wonder in the backstage, it was like, hey, Goldberg, would you go on SmackDown? How about 20,000? Okay, we're fine. Okay, yeah, just go off to your hotel. We're fine.
Oh, Goldberg. He'll do another episode of Bull Run, maybe. Shit. Well, when I say episode, when he did the cross-country car racing show,
really?
That was pretty interesting, but that's for another time. But anyway, today we have SmackDown October 18th, I think it was this time.
Yes.
We had, for our first match, well, it was okay. Just, these guys have not wrestled in a while, so it's kind of funky because they've been out of wrestling. Well, I don't know if they've been out of wrestling, but they've been out of the WWE for so long, so they're not used to the format anymore. The Spirit Squad versus Rhino Slater. Rhino Slater, obviously, tag team champions on SmackDown, on a massive roll right now. You know, they're starting to give Heath an actual time to shine instead of just having him be a punching bag. And then they brought back the Spirit Squad during the Dolph Ziggler angle, so that was pretty good. But now they're trying, I guess they're bringing them back as a full-time tag team. I don't know how I feel about this. The one tall guy, okay, I can see him doing it, but the other dude, not so much. And of course, Miz at ringside with his wife, whatever her name is.
Lana?
No, not Lana, that's Rusev's wife.
Sorry.
Whatever, it's M something, Milano, slap a blonde wig on her, they all look the same. I mean... Honestly, when they bring out these wife characters, they kind of all fall in the same category. Not offending anybody, but the girls who don't wrestle kind of all look like the same thing. Sadly enough.
Be careful, Chris, that around that area, somebody could say you're being sexist right there.
It's not being sexist. I love the women's division wrestling. Naomi, Alexa Bliss, you've got Natalya. I love watching those girls, but the girls who come in who don't wrestle, I could care less. But like I said, not to offend anybody, nothing against it. It's just the female characters that don't wrestle just don't appeal to me. They just don't seem to add much to the story unless they're like breaking up a match. But then again, I love the women's division wrestling. So we had Spirit Squad v Heath Slater and Rhino. Decent match. It was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking or anything.
Not really. And why is that being brought up again? Just because... What's his face?
Ziggler.
Why are they using that against Ziggler? That's really ridiculous.
I don't know. And then they ended up Miz cheated for them to win at the end anyway.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. I don't know where they're really going with this because Miz still has his rematch with Ziggler. But where does the Spirit Squad? That angle with making fun of Ziggler with the Spirit Squad is over. Like, I mean, granted, Rhino and Slater did come out to protect Ziggler when Miz attacked him during the week prior's SmackDown, but it just feels like they're in limbo. They don't really have a spot in the main roster for wrestling. I just don't know how I feel about it.
Kind of lackluster and just like poor performance, and it's just poor delivery.
It just kind of feels like they're dragging this gimmick along as like dead weight, and I don't like what they're doing with it.
Which one are you talking about?
Spirit Squad. I just don't feel like it. It just feels like dead weight. It honestly does.
Why drag something up from like 2008?
Oh God, it was way back, man.
Oh my gosh, because I remember when the Fear. I didn't watch. That's when the Nexus. That's when the Degeneration X.
Yeah, DX.
Because Spirit Squad was supposed to be Vince McMahon's team. And it's just like...
That was when it was a 5-man tag team and not a 2-man like it is now, which Dolph used to be a part of it at that moment. But it doesn't work. It's old news, and these guys just don't really perform very well. Take the one tall guy, I don't remember his name, out of it, and give him his own thing. I could see him doing stuff. Maybe give him like a run in the U.S. title division area. But like Spirit Squad, dead weight.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on from that, obviously Slater and Rhino lost due to interference by The Miz. Next we had up was Curtis Hawkins walks out on Apollo Crews' match with him because Apollo Crews interrupted his debut.
Apollo lose.
Yeah, Apollo lose. Massive losing record. Came in like a shotgun when he first joined. Now, he's really not much of anything. He loses to everybody.
And it's ridiculous. And it's Vince McMahon's fault because he, as I say, me and you had an hour conversation about this in my vlog. WWE, in my opinion, is racist.
Very good chance that is true. My thing is...
Because you have never seen... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're fine.
You've never seen a WWE superstar and... take away The Rock. He's not black. He's Samoan. Okay? I've never seen a black WWE... An African-American WWE champion carry it. The only person that really... Okay, I could...
Minus Farouk. Because Farouk was African American and he did hold the championship. Granted, that was in the 80s. That was way back.
Way back. Well, that's when Vince McMahon Sr. was.
Yeah, Senior was running the company, and Junior, Vince McMahon, we all know, was a commentator.
Oh, yes, and we didn't realize how much racial intentions that Vince McMahon had before his father died. And then when he comes into the company, if somebody like Farouk was trying to run for the WWE Championship, Vince McMahon would bury him so quickly before he could ever, for instance, another Latino that carried the championship, 619.
Oh, Rey Mysterio?
Rey Mysterio, he had the championship for 1 minute. And then Big Show came out and clobbered him. That's how Vince McMahon buried.
And not even Big Show did it as well. But John Cena came out and beat him 10 minutes after he won the title. Granted, it was stripped from Punk, pretty much placed in a folder match of over the top rules. You battle royal style. Mysterio wins it. Then John comes out and cashes in the case and wins the title back at the end of the night after Mysterio was already exhausted.
I have to say, one of the funniest expressions, I hate CM Punk, one of the funniest expressions is CM Punk is in Chicago. He wins the title again, and his contract is expired, and he jumps over the barrier. He's holding the title in his hands, and he's like, ah! And then there's just Vince McMahon like,
yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens. I mean, it did there, and I mean, they eventually brought him back, and then he left again. But I miss CM Punk. But with this whole Kurt Hawkins thing, I don't know how they're building this gimmick. They don't give a lot of information about him, and it's just kind of weird. He walks out because he gets interrupted. I don't know what they're really shooting for with this guy. Cruz, big man, high flyer though for a big man. We all know he has a bad losing streak, but he is entertaining to watch because he is a high flyer.
yeah.
Kurt Hawkins' debut kind of fell flat for me. I didn't really feel like it was any good. I don't know what they're trying to build with him. It doesn't make the route they're going doesn't make sense. But pretty much no match continued. He walks out. That's the end of that. Then they moved on to one of my personal favorites right now, Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger. Swagger's just, I don't know what was the point. I mean, I understand he needs a job, but he's not entertaining to watch. Baron makes a good show.
What? Yeah. Jack Swagger's on stage? What? Huh? Baron Corbin?
I like Baron Corbin.
I'm not saying anything towards Baron Corbin. I'm just saying Jack Swagger
is just boring. Yeah.
Racist.
No. But Baron Corbin wins as usual. I don't know what
the one tagline they should give Jack Swagger?
What?
We are going to make America great again.
Oh God, please no. Don't. We had enough Trump back when he first showed up in WWE. We don't need that. But Baron
We the people.
Jesus Christ! Let's not do that. I got enough Trump when he shaved his head.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
But Baron wins over Swagger. Swagger, I don't know what they're doing with him. They're not building him up. They're kind of just having him lose after he got signed over. He has lost some weight though. He actually toned down a little bit this week. You can tell he's hitting the gym right now. He's trying to get back in that wrestler physique that he had prior to this.
Yeah.
So hopefully once he gets to the weight he needs to be, maybe they'll start doing something with him. I hope. I wouldn't mind a gimmick change though. Maybe go back to the Olympic all-American wrestler. The whole We the People thing, it's kind of over. It wasn't that great when it was around. I didn't care for it. It wasn't entertaining. It was there. Baron, the lone wolf, tough dude. It works for him. Baron, he doesn't sell a whole lot himself, but it works for him because he's just this kind of, he doesn't say much. He goes in, does what he needs to do, and then walks out. It works for him. I like him. I like his gimmick. It's just Swagger needs, and he's working on it. He's working on it. He's getting back to where he needs to be. He needs a reboot. He needs a reboot on the gimmick. The We the People thing, it's done. Let it die. Pick something else. Figure something else. Do like they did with Shelton Benjamin. Like, make him the all-American, wrestler that he was. Mm-hmm. But like I said, Baron Corbin wins match over Swagger. Kind of the standard match. Baron looks good. Swagger looks weak. I don't know if they're trying to build him up as a underdog, which is kind of hard for a man his size because he's way bigger than Baron, like a lot bigger than Baron Corbin. Obviously, he's not weaker than Baron Corbin.
Yes.
I don't really know where they're going with this gimmick, but it's interesting to say the least. Hopefully, it gets better. But Baron Corbin over Swagger. Medium grade match. Didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to Nikki and Carmella, whatever the heck you say her name. I never know how to pronounce her name. Carmelo, I don't know.
Mulo.
And then you had Nikki Bella. Nikki's got so much on her plate right now with the Total Divas thing. She really doesn't have a whole lot of time to run for the title.
Total Bella.
What did I say?
You said Total Divas.
Oh yeah, Total Bella. Sorry, Total Divas is over now.
But yeah, because they ended the Divas
division. Yeah, I don't like what they're doing with Nikki. Nikki needs to. Well, she's so busy with running her show. Well, not her show, but being on the show, then coming in and wrestling. She doesn't seem like she has a whole lot of time to devote to going for a title shot. So they're probably not going to give her anything.
Yeah.
Carmella. That's how you say it. I said it right this time. Carmella. I guess she's a Jersey Shore, New York chick. Kind of generic.
Hey, she get along well with Zack Ryder.
Honestly, if I was going to put her with anybody, I'd put her with Enzo.
Enzo?
Yeah, I think she kind of fits along with Enzo and the soft movement, or whatever you would call that.
He's soft.
But yeah, nothing really, they just snapped at each other over the mic. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of just your typical mic match, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
She yells at her, calls her a bunch of bad names. She yells at her, calls her a bunch of bad names. That's the end of it.
Yeah. Basically.
Moving on from that, we're gonna go to Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. Another great match by Naomi. Yes. Granted, Naomi lost, but I feel like they're gonna give Naomi a shot at the title. They're probably gonna put it on Bliss and then take it back. I'm not sure, but if they put it on Bliss, it'll put a great slot for Naomi to slide into that scene. And like all of you know, I love Naomi. She's obviously entertaining as all get out. All her intros, the crazy dancing, light shows and whatnot. And she's super athletic. She's fun to watch. And she's married to one of my favorite tag teams, the Samoan Usos.
Yes.
And you can tell a lot of their style is rubbed off on her. I really like her. Good showing by her. She did lose, and that whatever move Bliss did off, was it the Sparkle Splash or something? They named it something else, but it originally was called the Sparkle Splash off the top rope. Her knee landed really, really hard in Naomi's thigh, and that's gotta hurt.
Ouchie.
But Bliss over Naomi. Gonna continue the story, I hope. But Bliss does have her title shot at Hell in the Cell. No, I'm sorry, not Hell in the Cell. Bliss has got her title shot at Survivors?
Hell in a Cell.
Is it Hell in a Cell? Is Hell in a Cell joint this time? Is it both Raw and SmackDown?
I think it is, maybe.
Okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, but
I hope it is.
I want to see this match go on. Naomi versus Bliss, but it was a good match.
Yeah.
Naomi never fails to show a good match. Bliss, she's just kind of like the general bad girl, you know, I want my whatever now. Okay to watch. And then we had AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth. Oh my goodness, I don't know what they're doing with this guy. It makes no sense. It kind of feels like a Santino ripoff. But
Oh, I have to say, I wasn't ready. He says it right after he gets thrown out of the Royal Rumble.
Santino, I miss him. But Ellsworth and AJ. Ellsworth wins via disqualification, thanks to Dean Ambrose, well, not thanks to Dean Ambrose. Actually, AJ went a little overboard and was beating up Ellsworth after the ref told him to break it up. And then, obviously, you've got Dean Ambrose like antagonizing AJ the entire time, which is hilarious. I think they need to build Ambrose as this funny guy. He doesn't look it, but he actually is a really funny dude on the mic, and it's kind of funny to watch. Well, and Ellsworth obviously being the punchline of most of this against AJ, and then the whole thing was James Ellsworth wins the match. The only guy who's got 2 wins over AJ Styles, the only guy that has 2 wins over on AJ. The whole John Cena thing between them. It's kind of weird and interesting, but I like it. It's funny.
My question is, where's John Cena in this whole picture? Like I
don't know. It's
he's
weird.
on season. He's supposed to be the golden boy of SmackDown, and it's like, no, you can't see me. You can't see me.
A lot of what we're hearing rumors is he's going back out to film another season of True Grit.
Really?
Yeah. So he's gonna be. This will probably be his match. He'll go out again, and then he'll come back probably closer to WrestleMania. And then he'll win the title probably, getting him his 16th time. Blah blah blah. You know that whole spiel. But right now, I think he's getting ready to go out again, from what all the rumors are telling us on a lot of the websites. Remains to be seen, but Ambrose, funny. AJ getting mad at Ambrose, funnier.
Yes.
It just works. And then you've got this random jobber Ellsworth in there, just thrown to the lions, and it's just funny. It's good comedy.
It's the new guy that they said, he's just sitting back there. I'm like,
I like what they're doing with him.
And they're like, hey, you. And it's just like, yes? You recognize me? You're going to get the main event on SmackDown. Really?
I hope they actually give this guy a mainstay, because he is funny to watch. But have him be a mainstay in more of a serious tone after this whole comedy shtick with AJ and Dean blows over.
Sadly, I feel like Vince McMahon is going to be like, so here's how I picture this whole thing happening. Vince McMahon's like, well, you had a run. You and AJ and Dean, we had a good run, but here's the thing. You're just a flabby nothing, and you're fired. What?
I feel like because they're starting to get away from that whole super buff guy. I mean, they got the title on Owens. I mean, Owens is not a buff man, to say the least.
You know, I'm just sorry to say that title he wears on his shoulder has no prestige.
It's a new title. They had to come up with something. They're not going to bring the old title back out of retirement.
They need to. Honestly, they need to bring that. This title has more prestige on it than that piece of garbage title that AJ wears. Like, that thing just has a big W on it, and it's just like, it's like the women's title has that too, and it's just like, what's the deal, WWE? Why are you just slapping this piece of garbage logo on your title?
Yeah, I mean, it is marketing. It is what it is on that. But, I mean, Ellsworth wins DQ. Funny match. This gimmick with Dean and AJ is just, and Ellsworth, it's just funny and entertaining to watch. It's goofy. It's not serious, obviously, but it is funny to watch. Now, what happens in the next pay-per-view, that ought to be interesting if Ellsworth shows up for that. You know, maybe causes some trouble. I don't know. I want to see more Ellsworth. A lot of people don't want to see more Ellsworth. I like it. I think he's funny.
He's kind of goofy and zany at the same time.
Yeah. So, moving on from Ellsworth, we have our last match of the night, which was Orton Kane versus the Wyatts. Not your favorite tag team in the world, is it?
Mm-mm.
Kane and Orton I loved what they did with Orton, where he talks about the voices he hear, and Kane turns and says like, Randy, you've got problems.
You got problems.
But of course, they make Kane. They switch Kane around so much. It's stupid.
You know what I call Kane? I call him the used condom of the WWE.
No, that's a little harsh.
He is. He's the used condom of the WWE.
He works where he's got to go. I mean, I give the man credit.
He was playing Kane. Then he was the mask Kane. Then he was playing Kane. Then he was business suit Kane.
Corporate Kane.
Corporate Kane. This, that.
The man.
How about ballerina Kane? Can you imagine?
Well, he did do the dancing shtick for a while too.
Oh my god!
But like,
oh, the hugging, the hug between him and Daniel Bryan. Yes. Oh, but Team Hell No.
I don't want to see another trip down like the Great Khali Road where they just make him something funny.
Oh.
Kane, well, obviously he's nearing the end of his career. You know, he's older now, you know, they've kind of played the Big Red Machine thing out.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of fitting him in where they can to keep him a part of the show. And I'm glad they're not just letting him go.
Here's my important question. Involving Kane, now his brother, Undertaker, where is that going? Who is Taker going to fight? Who was that last match do you think Taker's going to fight before he retires?
Well, a lot of people were wanting Goldberg to fight him, but now, like, we already know Goldberg is only doing one match. It's with Brock, and that's it. A lot of people are saying maybe John, but that can't be because we don't really know exactly, but they're saying, a lot of sources are saying John Cena is going to be the guy that retires him. I wouldn't want to see that. I want to see a younger guy come up and retire The Undertaker, and the way The Undertaker puts a lot of this out is, you go in the way you go out the way you came in, on your back. You lose your first match, you lose your last match. No one really ever goes out on top, except for CM Punk, but that was just because he left.
Yeah, if he hadn't done that, Vince McMahon would have made him lose.
Yeah, I want to see Taker go out to a young talent, build him up, let that legacy the Undertaker built, push this new guy forward. But they're going to have to really dig around and find a good person to put that on. I don't know how they're going to do this WrestleMania, because obviously Taker only wrestles at WrestleMania now. Because, I mean, granted, the man's old, but he's still talented. But it's nearing the end.
Watching him wrestle makes me just go...
It's almost painful to watch.
He goes like for 2 rounds, and then after the 3rd round, he's just like...
He's huffing and puffing.
And I'm like, you know what he reminds me of? He's not the Undertaker. He's the bag of bones Undertaker. It's kind of like,
Not to upset anybody. We love Undertaker.
Yes, I have.
We don't want to see him continue pushing his career.
I don't want to see Undertaker in a freaking wheelchair.
Yeah, none of us want to see Undertaker go out hurt. We want to see him go out the way you're supposed to go out.
Him raise his fist.
I thought that was it. I legitimately thought Brock Lesnar breaking the streak, that was it.
Yes. And then
they just kind of like, oh, well, no, it's not over yet.
But the thing is, the streak was the whole thing about Undertaker, him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, now that the streak's broke, he really doesn't have an angle anymore.
No, he doesn't. And honestly, that match right there with Brock Lesnar and Taker really put me in a jabber. Like, it was just... It really set me off. Like 21 and 1? What the? That's one of the most off numbers I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, I think, wasn't it 22 and 1?
No, it was 21 and 1.
Well,
remember he defeated CM Punk.
Oh yeah, that's right. But anyway, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's time. It's time for him to retire. We don't want to see him get hurt. We love the Undertaker, but we don't want to see him go out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Back to Kane and Orton. Kane, Orton. It's the typical Wyatt battle. The Wyatt, they have a good, decent match. Kane shows up in a coffin randomly. I'm kind of like, okay, well, we're going back to Demon Kane now. Popping out a coffin, fighting with Orton against the Wyatts, then the Wyatts just disappear.
Yeah.
I don't like people leaving matches off a cliffhanger like that. That needs to be a clean finish. There needs to be a finish, even if it's not clean, there needs to be a finish to a match. Don't leave it with nothing going on. It just makes the entire match, even if it was good at the start, makes it fall flat on its face.
Yes.
I just don't like that.
You know, before we end the podcast, since we have our subjects taken care of, you know, I think is interesting. A lot of the WWE, you know, product, the, you know, WWE studios. Have you ever watched a WWE movie and noticed it goes, oh God, oh God. Me and Chris are the same way. Every single WWE movie that they produce goes straight to DVD.
I think I'd rather watch the Sci-Fi Channel than a WWE movie.
Yes, I'd rather watch old episodes of Seinfeld than watch a WWE Productions movie. Because I know that the movie's going to be so lackluster, and it's going to be so horrible.
The only person who ever translates to good movies is The Rock. That's the only one.
I have a different opinion about The Rock.
The Rock, I think, is a good actor.
The Rock is just like...
He plays his character during the Doom movie. You had... he was in the Fast and the Furious movies, which are blockbusters. I mean, you can't really argue that because they sell. His new Disney movie, Moana, I'm looking super forward to that. It's a pixel movie. I mean, it's a cartoon movie, but I mean... From what I'm seeing, I mean, it looks pretty good.
But I thought what was ridiculous was the whole eyebrow raising on the character. And I'm like, oh, it's obvious that The Rock is playing that character because he raises his eyebrow. And
was it the daycare one where he finds out he has a daughter and he's a football player? I love that movie. I thought it's hilarious. I like The Rock.
I watched his newest movie and I did not laugh once.
Which one?
The where he's with Kevin Hart, he's working with Kevin.
Oh yeah, you didn't like that?
I could not find myself to laugh, and then the CGI.
See, I love Kevin Hart, and
Kevin Hart's funny, yeah, but with working with a 2x4 like the Rock, you know, he's kind of like it's kind of hard.
See, that's the thing. I think The Rock's funny. I mean, his comedy is very cheesy.
John Cena and The Rock are kind of like the same because you put John Cena in a movie.
John plays action movies. John cannot. I don't think John can do a funny movie.
He tried to play an alcoholic one time, and he just
Oh, the one where he's teaching the kid to wrestle.
Yes.
John can't play a funny role. He has to play a serious role. He's not funny.
No.
No offense to him, but he's not funny.
Yeah.
At least The Rock can build a comedy. He actually can have funny jokes. It's just, it depends on the person, I guess. I personally loved the movie with Kevin Hart. That was my personal opinion. And I love the comedy movies and some of the action movies The Rock's in. But,
did you ever see the Leprechaun movie?
The old ones?
No, the remake by WWE.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
WWE remade Leprechaun.
Oh, God.
And guess who played the character?
Hornswoggle?
Yeah, Hornswoggle played... But he wasn't much of a demon. He wasn't much of a, you know, kind of classy leprechaun. He was more evil and diabolical. And it was, you know... not as good as the original Leprechaun movies.
Well, granted, the original Leprechauns were cheesy as crap anyway.
But they were funny as hell.
They were funny, but they were cheesy funny. They were 80s cheese funny.
Yes.
But anyway, folks, it's about the end of our time. I want to thank you all for tuning into the podcast. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching. You want to take us out?
What was the thing we say?
We're still working on it, folks. We're still working on it. Always putting people through the tables.
Always putting people through the tables. Giving our best reviews. Clashing the titles. Boom.
See you guys in the next episode.